Oh, hey, don't mind me, I'm just doing my best to emotionally recover from this movie. Hi everybody, Anthony here from Awesome Anthony Productions, and today I'm going to give you my review of Pixar's latest theatrical outing, Inside Out 2. But before we get started, you know exactly what to do at the end of the video. If you feel I've earned it, leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss any of my new reviews. Now let's get into it. Inside Out 2 takes the protagonist of the first movie, Riley, voiced here by Kensington Tallman, and ages her up a bit, making her be 13 and just now entering the thralls of puberty. No, 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 no! Her emotions, Amy Poehler's joy, Phyllis Smith's sadness, Lewis Black's anger, and fear and disgust with their new voice actors Tony Hale and Liza Lapira.
We gotta get our mouth guard, people!
No, that's not ours!
Are doing their best to keep middle schooler Riley healthy and happy when she gets invited to her future high school for a weekend-long hockey camp. That's when puberty really starts to rear its ugly head.
It's Brittany, bitch.
Introducing new emotions into Riley's mind, like anxiety, voiced by Maya Hawke.
I'm anxiety. Where can I put my stuff?
Envy, voiced by Ayo Edebiri.
Look at your hair.
Embarrassment, voiced by Paul Walter Hauser.
Oh, we're doing a fit? No. Oh, nope, going high.
And Ennui,
It's what you would call the boredom.
voiced by, and I know I'm going to mispronounce this, Adele Exarchopoulos, which was kind of surprising for me because I only know her from one other movie. Anxiety, under the guise of protecting Riley from any number of bad situations that could happen, starts to make all types of decisions for Riley that could be good or could be bad, but it's kind of starting to derail the weekend for her. But when Joy tries to step in and stop anxiety, she has all of the original emotions thrown out and suppressed. So it's up to Joy and sadness to once again venture the realm of Riley's mind, this time joined by anger, fear, and disgust, to hopefully put a stop to anxiety's destructiveness before it changes Riley for the worse forever. Now, I really love the first Inside Out. I love the animation, the story, the ideas, the voice acting, and I cry every time that we lose Bing Bong. But this one is just so much better. From the beginning of this film, I was much more drawn into this relatable story than I was with the first. The first one felt relatable in terms of moving on to a new chapter of your life, especially if you're moving house, but this one just hit me on a whole different level, mostly in relation to Riley's budding anxiety, because the writers here did an amazing job showing just how many different ways anxiety can manifest and rule over your life. Ways that in the moment might seem like they're beneficial in preparing you for the worst, or protecting you from pain or embarrassment or heartbreak, but eventually you'll see that maybe they weren't the right choice to make. It's just portrayed here excellently, both through the story and visually, and through the dialogue between Joy and anxiety. But the greatness here just really starts with how great of a character Riley is.
She's a good kid.
She's complex, she has realistic struggles for a 13-year-old and mental blocks that hold her back from things. She's a kick-ass hockey player that takes the sport very seriously. She loves her friends, and most importantly, through every decision made in this movie, whether it's good or doesn't really paint her in the best light, she still remains relatable and realistically drawn and developed. Kensington Tallman does a great job with her voice too, and with her effective, vulnerable, and emotional performance, she complements the excellent writing for Riley's character arc and emotional journey, and the truly jaw-dropping animation that I'll talk about later. The story here regarding Riley's weekend at hockey camp, drama with her friends, and how this is all preparing her for high school just feels like a real story that millions of people have probably dealt with and can relate to. Regardless of whether or not you care about hockey. It's all about how you connect with the message, and I think that everyone that has a little bit of emotional maturity can connect in some part to this story, whether it's fear of losing friends, the nervousness and embarrassment that can come with meeting new people, not feeling good enough, or even the sad realization that as much as you try to push the negative memories and thoughts out of your head, they're gonna come back eventually.
My emotions!
And just like the first movie, the story for Riley and her emotional journey along the way is translated so well to everything going on inside of her head with the emotions. The returning voice cast are all doing a great job once again, with Amy Poehler's infectious goofiness and personality. Phyllis Smith's general just kinda Eeyore-ish down demeanor even though she's still full of heart.
Have I ever steered you wrong before?
Many times.
And Lewis Black as Anger, who I was so thankful had a bigger role in this because every time he was on screen I was laughing my ass off.
Wow, those guys are jerks.
As for the new voice actors, while I love Bill Hader as Fear, I think Tony Hale does a great job in the new role.
We are suppressed emotions!
And I felt the same about Liza Lapira taking over for Disgust.
We wanted to make such a good first impression. What do you mean, we?
The new emotions are also great here too, with Maya Hawke really bringing a lot of range in her vocal performance as Anxiety. She goes from a cute, quirky weirdo that is just full of nervous energy and rambles all the time, to having a bit of an antagonistic role, but never going far enough to where you don't sympathize with her and understand her, something the movie really works well into its message. You see why her and Joy are opposed, but you understand why she's doing what she's doing to try to help Riley.
Lit off Operation New Riley begin.
And it makes for a very dynamic relationship between a protagonist and an antagonist without ever making Anxiety a total villain. Envy was adorable, but she really only had a few one-liners, though Ayo Edebiri did a great job. I didn't recognize her voice at all. This is the same thing with the other two new emotions, with Adele Exergerb's ennui and Paul Walter Hauser's embarrassment, not really being the deepest of characters, but definitely serving the story and both having at least one standout moment. So the voice cast is all great, complementing this emotional story and bringing a lot of laugh-out-loud moments, because not only does this movie hit some real emotional highs, but it is consistently and constantly very funny. I love the fact that this is a movie that felt more like classic Pixar, where it has a lot of jokes and visual stuff that the kids will laugh at that the adults can also appreciate because it's not lowbrow humor. But there's also a few jokes in there regarding this whole premise that adults will laugh at a lot more than kids.
I'm the worst! Well, that's a preview of the next 10 years.
Especially when anger is on screen or when we meet some of Riley's locked away secrets and the hijinks that come with that. And of course, that animation. We all know that Pixar has totally refined their CGI over the last 30 years. And though there's not really anything here that jumps out and makes you go, wow, that's kind of a compliment in and of itself. The inside of Riley's mind is full of color and imagination and cleverness. And the textures, shadows, light effects, particles, they all go the extra mile to make this feel larger than life. But outside of Riley's world, everything that goes into Pixar's animation results in almost photorealistic scenery. Just realistic enough to where it looks realistic, but the cartoonish characters that fill it don't feel too jarring. Whether it's a hockey rink, Riley's room, or even just a high school hallway, the amount of detail that goes into every frame just makes this feel, well, real. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention the score, this time with the score being done by Andrea Datzman, taking over from Michael Giacchino, but still sticking with those beautiful emotional themes that you recognize from the first movie that just drives the emotion throughout this film. I really only have one complaint, and that's that I wish we got a little bit more from the new emotions. It definitely felt like Anxiety was the leader of that group, with everyone else, like I said earlier, just kind of being there with one or two funny one-liners or standout moments while progressing the story. Many people say that Pixar has been going the route of Disney Animation's quality lately, and I really have to disagree with that. The only one recently that I thought was only good and not great was Lightyear, and even then, my review for Elemental when I posted it wasn't that positive, but I've watched it a handful of times since then, and I've really come around to enjoying it. So with that in mind, that I still really have loved Pixar's movies in the last few years, this is still a triumph for Pixar. With real characters, a strong emotional journey, a great message, laugh-out-loud comedy, and brilliant animation. It's perfect for the whole family, especially if you have kids that are in their preteen or early teen years. And that's my review of Inside Out 2. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this review, you know exactly what to do. I said it in the beginning. Please leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss any of my new reviews. While you're at it, you can scroll down the description, find the links to my socials, leave a comment, let me know if you saw Inside Out 2 and what you thought. And if you want more of my content, you can click or tap on these cards right here. It'll take you to my review of In a Violent Nature, or just over to my channel where you can check out my reviews and my shorts. Thanks so much for watching, everybody, and I will see you next time for my review of, I'm not sure, either The Exorcism or The Bike Riders. See ya.